Hey there, I'm Rachel Ehring, and you're listening to the Top Music Piano Podcast. Get inspired as we discuss creative resources, trends in piano pedagogy, ways to grow your income and streamline your studio, and new ways to engage your students each week. If you are a teacher who wants to go beyond the method books to create an innovative studio that fosters lifelong music makers, you've come to the right place. Hello, piano teachers. I hope that you are doing well today, and I want to thank you for listening and being here today. I'm wondering, do you have a system for keeping track of lesson notes? I think most teachers do, but have you ever thought of lesson notes and assignments as something that could be fun, exciting, and motivating to students? My guest today has figured out a way to combine lesson notes with dreaming, visions, goal setting, and much more. It has transformed her studio, and today she is sharing the whole process with us. As you'll hear, Tweena is my real-life friend, and I'm so happy that she agreed to come on the show today. Tweena Vuong's first piano teacher was her dad, who is self-taught. At just 10 years old, the organist at Tweena's church had to leave, creating an opening for a new accompanist. At the audition, there were those who doubted her young age and skills, so her dad said, "Get over to that piano and play A Whole New World," a song she had just learned. And that's how it all began. Tweena has been performing professionally for more than 25 years now, from concerts to musical theater, bands, choirs, and hundreds of special events. But Tweena's real love is sharing this gift. She loves to teach and gives 110% to her students to help them learn and reach their music goals. Now she teaches at her music studio, SmartMuse Piano, in Santa Ana, California, and is living her dream life, teaching kids, playing piano, making music, and having fun. She loves all noodles and cheeses, as do I, Tweena. Here's my interview with Tweena. Hi, Tweena. Welcome to the show. It's so good to see you this morning. Can you introduce yourself and tell us about your teaching studio?
Hi, Rachel. I'm so happy to be here with you and really appreciate you taking the time to just have a conversation with me and do a podcast. It's my first one. My name is Tweena Vuong, and our studio is called SmartMuse Piano. We are in downtown Santa Ana in the Artist Village, and we're in this cool historical building called the Santora Building, built in 1929. And a very fun fact that I like to share with everyone is the room that I actually teach piano in is the famous Daniger's Tea Room, where celebrities like Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz and Rita Hayworth and Jack Benny would have tea and hang out. So there's like this cool essence of old Hollywood glamour, and I feel like I could still feel them there. Their creative juices and spirits.
Yeah, that's amazing. So just so listeners know, your studio is really close to where mine is. It's probably like 15 or 20 minutes here in Southern California. We're in Orange County. But you have taken this beautiful old building and really made it your own and created something beautiful for your students to come into. And I think I didn't realize that about the Hollywood connection, but I can feel that when I walk into your space. You've sort of captured that Hollywood glam in there. Can you share with us just a little of the story of how you got your space and how you came up with the vision for your studio and that space that you rent?
Instead of studying abroad during college, I decided to work really hard and save all my money so that I can travel abroad on my own after. And so I worked 4 part-time jobs. And among those jobs, I'll just share is medical billing during the week, bartending, accompanying at church, and teaching piano house to house on the weekend. And so the goal back then was to either, to save money, was to move to New York and live there for a year to explore their musical scenes, or just to move to France and live there for half a year. And I chose France. And maybe it was coming home from France and being surrounded by all that beauty and the architecture and the culture that drew me to the Santora Building. I honestly can't remember how I stumbled across it. I don't know if it was like an ad that I saw or if I had just walked into the building, but I moved in 2010, and the current space that we're at is not where I first rented. It was actually the small suite right next to it. And I spent a year there, and then I moved to a bigger suite the second year, and then this third year that came up, the space became available and I just jumped on it right away. I wasn't financially prepared nor ready, but I know that you can't wait for things to suit you. And you just have to take the opportunities when they come. And I just knew I could make it work. So yeah, fast forward to today. It's been we're in 2024 and I was in that space since 2012, 2013.
Tell us what your studio looks like today. Who else is working there with you? How many students you have? Some of the details.
Sure. So I currently I don't want to say employee, but I guess that's what it is. I have 2 junior teachers that just came under my wing, and that happened in the last year. And they're former students of mine, older in college, both studying in the medical field. And so I have these 2 junior teachers, and among the 3 of us, we have about 50 plus students. I also have a work wife. This is a woman that also teaches her own voice classes with her own separate entity in our studio. But we have completely different businesses. But April is my work wife, and together we share the same vision, actually. So yeah, we do wonderful things, and sometimes her students cross over to piano, and some of my students cross over to voice. So it's awesome. That's what our studio is, and we consider it a sanctuary. So we just want to make it a safe space for students to come and make music, share their passions, grow in their skills and confidence in a creative environment.
Yeah, and one of the things that I really love about what you've created is that it seems like you have a very clear vision of what you want your studio and your lessons to look like. So one of the tangible ways that your vision has played out is through the journal that you've created for your students. So tell us about the journal, and then we'll talk about how you use it in your studio.
So thank you so much, Rachel. Just going back to the word sanctuary, April and I, our motto for our shared motto for our separate businesses is music lessons, life lessons. Personally, I just want happy students who can develop and flourish under a fun and gentle atmosphere with guidance. So we just want our students to feel secure and comfortable. They can share their frustrations, their joys, their stories, their thoughts with us. Not only do we want to guide them into more confident, skilled musicians, but at the same time, we want to help them discover and develop their other passions and interests, whether it's a love for animals, helping the poor, sustainability, anything. So how the journal came about, and it's actually named Music and Magic. So you can call it a journal, but I call it a planner because my teacher brain likes to organize and plan things. Though there are pages inside the planner that are more like journaling prompts, but in a very, very easy, simplified way. So the kids don't feel overwhelmed, or anyone looking at the journal doesn't feel overwhelmed to think that they're journaling in a journal. So it was during COVID, which presented a very unique opportunity to everyone in the world since we were all in our homes, but I knew it wasn't going to be forever. So the Music and Magic Journal was the time that I put all my energy, was the thing that I put all my time and energy into. It gave me great purpose and motivation to wake up and work for hours every day on a planner that I could eventually give my students because we were working from home, I was teaching them virtually. And in the classroom, I used to write their assignments on Post-it. I think a lot of people, we stick the Post-it in and we change it out the next week. So now I'm verbally telling them what their assignments are and what their goal is for the week. So I was like, let's have a journal, a planner that they can write their homework in themselves. And I can eventually give it to them when we see each other again. So that was how the Music and Magic Journal started.
So it's sort of like an assignment book, but more.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Can you kind of just describe what it's like today, what the Music and Magic Journal is like today, what it looks like, and the different components of it?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Let me pull it up right here. So you have your monthly spreads. So there's like a blank cover for each month that allows room for creativity, for drawing, for throwing on cutouts from magazines, for pictures. And then on the other side, you have your calendar. So you can see mine, Rachel. So I just opened up the month.
I can. Our listeners can't see, but I can see. It's beautiful.
But I can describe it. So like there's a monthly spread with the calendar that they can fill in this undated calendar. And on the right, you have a blank space that says, design or draw your own cover for the month. Create a theme surrounding ideas or activities you plan on doing. So it's really bare bones on the right side. Both sides, you can just fill it in. You could throw pictures on. You could draw, I don't know, a flower for the month of May, because May flowers, or if it's someone's birthday, a student of mine drew like a giant roller skate, because it was her birthday month and she's going to go to a roller skating party. So, so there's the monthly spread. And then within each month, you have 5 weeks of music lessons. So you have 5 different pages that say music lesson. And then under that, there's the date, the class. What are you going to practice? What is the goal of this practice? I think that's what's missing, is we just go, okay, this is your assignment. We're going to learn this song, which works on learn the song, play it with one hand at a time, and then do the second hand. Well, what's the purpose of learning this particular song? Because we're highlighting on the time signature or the rest sign. So, whatever you're working on. And then under there, which I really like this box, is today's wins. I think it's so important to always highlight on all of our wins, however big or small. Whether the student had time to practice or not during the week, life happens, but we want to praise them for their effort if they're making an effort. And, let's say they didn't practice at all, but then they come in and they're exactly where they were last week, but we spend a good 20, 25 minutes relearning the concept, and then we do it. Well, what's today's win? We were able to play the song with both hands together, and we understand the concept of rest sign, and we played it 3 times, and it got easier. And then there's just a music log and a cute little happy face thing on how they feel, because I'd like to know how they thought the lesson went for them. There's just a bunch of other pages that allows for vision boards, dream songs. I think that's a really cool page, because we want to pull out fun songs for the students to be able to play when they're getting a little antsy or bored of the method book. And so it's always nice to see what songs they have in there, and then just go, you know what, I think it's time we can pull out a dream song and learn that. And then, of course, you find it to their level. So there's just a lot of different pages in here. Every page was really, really intentional. I made it so that it was like not a waste of pages. I just wanted each page to serve a purpose and a valuable one.
Yeah, I love the content. I actually have mine right here also. So I love the content of the inside, but you've also made a really high quality, beautiful product. And I want to just talk a little bit about that. It has this nice like leather cover, and it has bookmarks, and it's just such a beautiful product. I want to know, how did it start out? Did it start out looking like this, or were there other iterations of it previously?
Oh, I did not start out looking like this, but Rachel, I had always envisioned it looking like this. I'm such a planner girl, and I have like 4 or 5 different planners, but now I just have one, because that was the point of this. I just want one planner that serves all my needs. I really like Passion Planner. I don't know if you've heard of that, but so I modeled my planner after the Passion Planner. I really like the faux vegan leather. It's bendy. Kids can just pass it around. I like the 2 satin ribbons that they can use as bookmarks. We have nice, thick, creamy pages for them to write on that doesn't have bleed through. Yeah, let me show you. I know the listeners can't see it, but this is not how it started out. I actually bought a cinch machine, which is one of those like little coil. Look at my first version. It's a bootleg one that I printed from home, but it was so that I had something physical.
It looks like a spiral notebook, essentially.
With cardboard covers, and like I printed out music and magic and laminated it on a piece of paper to stick on the cover. Then my second, so this was my prototype. Then I went to Staples and I printed out, which looks a little better, but not much. But then I went to a local printer, and this is the first version. So the content, everything is exactly still the same, Rachel. But the second year, the second edition, I have the size that I want and the covers and the bookmarks that I want.
Top Music Pro enables you to be a pro in your own studio because you don't have to reinvent the wheel and you don't have to make up all the answers yourself. You have support.
I think of Top Music as the pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. This site is the whole pot of gold, and there's gold pieces in there that I didn't even know existed.
I am actually teaching a full studio. They're coming online from miles away. So I am certainly thriving.
So what Tim has done is build a global community of piano teachers who are interested, who are engaged. And when you become part of this community, you feel empowered.
My life is different now because I'm not just in an isolated little studio. I have learnt that there are other people out there going through very similar learning curves and sharing these ideas.
I've really gained a lot of skill sets where my teaching is far more creative, far more innovative. I have resources so that I can add to it things that I didn't know.
My life and my business are different now because I have the three things that I really wanted: less stress, more money, and more time.
It's going to be fun. Like, I got excited about being a piano teacher. It's revolutionized everything that I do.
I think I've become a more thoughtful teacher, a more organized teacher. The quality of my teaching has deepened.
I feel like I can do this. I feel a sense of hope. I love the creativity it fosters and the openness to thinking outside the box, and it's energizing.
Joining Top Music really solidified that. Like, no, this is your career, and you can make a career out of this. That has really helped me be proud of what I do.
It's made such a tremendous impact on the way I think about teaching. It keeps your mind open when you have so many ideas.
My best win from being on Top Music Pro is just having a lot more peace of mind as a teacher and as a business owner. It just gives me that less amount of hours that I have to do with research and everything.
It's a really good place to spend a few pounds, a few bucks a month. What you get from it far outweighs what you have to pay into it.
My biggest win with Top Music Pro was increased student retention and increased income. I have a lot more confidence in how I'm teaching, and I have the resources that I need when I do have questions.
I probably went from about 35 students to maybe like 65. I ended up doing 3 classes and I had a waiting list.
If I hadn't signed up with Top Music Pro, I probably wouldn't have realized that teaching piano is a real job and you can build your whole career around it.
Can you tell us a little bit about the production? Like, how do you get that you have now?
Oh, that's a great idea. It all starts with an idea, and then you start going down research lanes, right? So how to write a book. I actually took an online self-publishing course so that I can learn from someone who's done it. And then from there, they don't teach you how to print and produce, so you got to go and do the research there. But it all starts with an idea, and what I tell my students is, we like to manifest and do dream board parties and attraction. But I remind them that in the word attraction is action. So consistently just taking small steps, maybe daily would be great, but just taking small steps consistently towards that purpose that you want. So there's different stages of this. First is like, what am I going to write in it? What pages do our students need? Then after that, it's how do I print it? And then you saw my print versions. And that was a whole phase. And then how do I, publish it? And now that it's published, oh my God, I'm at this, how do I share it? How do I market it? Which is like the business end, and this is what terrifies me, but I'm excited because I'm a teacher. I made it for my students, and I really just want to share it with other students and teachers who could benefit from this. So just go back to your why. My why was I wanted something for my students that will help them achieve their goals, help me connect with them, and make lessons more meaningful and intentional.
I love it, Tweena. You've learned so much, haven't you, over the past few years doing this, I bet. So let's talk a little bit about what makes the journal so special and how you use it in your studio. Can you tell us how you use it with your students? I mean, you've touched on it, but I know that there's more. Maybe you can talk about your vision parties and what else you do to set yourself apart.
Sure can. So just use it mainly as a homework planner at first. You know how you used to go to school, they gave you an assignment book, you'd look at the board and you'd copy them. So no more Post-its, no more waste of paper. You give each student a planner. I gave each of my students a planner. And while they were having their lesson and I'm sitting right next to them, I would write down notes in the planner. I'd write down the date, what gains we've made today, what we're going to practice, the goal of the why of that practice. And then after, maybe the last 5 minutes, I'll have them read what their assignment is, talk about how they feel about the lesson. Were there any questions? What other wins do you think we had? And so it becomes this interactive tool. You got to kind of treat it like a part of the curriculum. That's how we do. It's great because then parents can also see the weekly progress. They can see exactly what we did in class and in their part also help on the practice and homework side at home. These planners actually set up our vision board parties. So a vision board party, for those of you who may not have heard of one, is a party where we just manifest and share and socialize and talk about our dreams. And so our very first vision board party, we started with a dream board. So there's a spread where it's 2 blank pieces of paper that says dream board on top. And basically, I told them that this is a magical piece of paper. Anything you write on here, anything you paste on here has a very good chance of coming true, right? And so this allows students of all ages to just share their interests without getting freaked out about writing in it. So I gave them a bunch of magazines. A lot of them are very artistic. So I said, draw what you want, paste what you want. So they're just flipping through pictures. And I said, don't overthink it. Whatever looks good to you, whatever attracts you and catches your eye, tear it out and cut it out and paste it on your vision board. So it was really cool to see the students' interests and dreams. One kid wants to have 3 dogs this year. Another one wants to become a rocket scientist. I don't know, you're just going to see a bunch of cool things. But a vision board party is, we have it quarterly and our students come together. They socialize, they bring their journals. We talk about the last 3 months. What songs have you guys learned? What goals did you accomplish? Did you make the soccer team? Did you save enough money to buy that pet goldfish that you wanted? Did you participate in the recital? So then they all kind of share. And then we go into the next quarter. Well, okay, the next quarter is these 3 months. And what do you think you'd like to do here? It could be music related or it could be personal related, which is what we call the magic side. So music is anything music related and magic is personal life related.
And what transformations have you seen in your students from using these?
I've seen their creativity come out. I've seen their social sides come out. We had a lot of shy, insecure students who are working on making friends and just opening up. And because it's such a laid back environment and event where we do arts and crafts too, tying it all back into the goals, they make friends with each other. And now they've met and know their peers. So when we have a recital, when we have an event where they have to perform in front of each other, there's a lot less fear.
What age do you use your journal with?
So at first, I only gave it to the older kids. I think I gave it to the 7 and up. And now I just give it to every single student who signs up with us because it's, even if they're 4 years old, which we have 1 maybe, but I can write their homework in there. And they can still participate. They can still draw a picture on the cover of the month and share something with me. So yeah, every student gets one. And our teachers too.
Oh, I love that. How do your teachers use it?
Thank you. So, well, I use it for my own music and magic goals. And, I record dates and appointments on the calendar for the music lessons. I might not take music lessons, but I was taking voice lessons actually at one point. So I was using it for the music lesson. Another teacher uses it as a weekly spread of her feelings and her mental well-being and things to work on or just tasks. So it's very open. And actually, it's funny that you asked that. I actually have one in the making for teachers. It's going to be called Music and Magic for Maestros. This one particularly is directed and made for students, though other teachers can use it for their own music lessons or just a journal. But I do have one that I am trying to make for teachers.
That's great. We'll be looking forward to that one coming out. So it sounds like this could be a way for teachers to kind of set themselves apart from the pack. I know that teachers are always looking for ways to make their studio unique and special, and this seems like a really good way to do that. How can teachers find out more and get a copy or maybe a whole bunch of copies for their students?
So I think having the planner allows for the student to actively engage and participate in their own musical journey alongside with the teacher. And we're in such a unique role as music teachers to be this fun, creative, cool, artsy being in their lives. And so we can work together and share on how their journey goes. You can find more about the journal on my Instagram page. We do have a TikTok that we just opened, but I would say Instagram is the best vehicle. We're trying to share more about the planner because we utilize it daily in our lessons, but if you don't use it, you're not going to know how to incorporate it. And so we have a lot of little snippets of how we use it and how easy it is to just incorporate it into a lesson.
So if teachers are interested, should they contact you directly through Instagram or do you sell them on your Etsy store? How does that work if teachers want to buy one?
Thanks, Rachel. I do have an Etsy store. I do have a website, SmartMuse Piano, which is hosted by Shopify. You can purchase there. But I love direct connection and interaction. And if you just directly message me on Instagram, there's always a discount for teachers, and there's an even nicer wholesale discount for if you buy in bulk, which is 10 or more. I'm still working out the logistics. Like I said, I'm just learning this business part of having a product now, which is so weird. But I do want to share it and give you the best possible. Like, I want to get it out to whoever wants it. That's the goal. So we will make it work. I think just find us on Instagram at SmartMuse Piano and then just DM me. And after that, ask your questions and we'll work together.
That's great, Tweena. Thank you. So SmartMuse, just so people know, SmartMuse Piano, and Muse is MUSE, right? Okay, SmartMuse Piano on Instagram. Great. Is there anything else you want to share, Tweena, about the journal or your studio?
So I think to explain to students why is it called Music and Magic? For me, we tell our students music is equivalent to anything you create. When you create things like music, art, poems, anything you're good at or just plain happy doing, it doesn't matter if it's knitting socks. If you're happy doing something, that is making music and adding to our life song with these contributions. And our definition of magic is when you make others happy, when you take care of animals and each other and nature, you are creating magic in your life and in the lives of others. So that's what music and magic is to us.
Well, Tweena, you have created something so beautiful, and I know that your students absolutely love working with you. They love the vision board parties and all that comes along with being part of your studio. Thank you for sharing this with us today. It was such an honor to talk to you and hear about what you're doing over there in Santa Ana.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, it was an honor and a privilege to speak with you. And I'm really, really grateful. I was really nervous to do this podcast, by the way. I was thinking, like, why did I agree to this? And I put myself back in the perspective of, this is what we do to our students. We ask them to show up and share something that they care about and share their gift in front of others. And now it was my turn to step up to the plate. And I just had to remind myself, like, the why of having this podcast with you was to talk to a friend and tell her about why I created something for my students. And so I just really appreciate you taking the time and interest to ask me these questions and let me share with others too who may be interested.
Thank you, Tweena.
Thank you, Rachel, for making music and magic with me.
I hope that you love this episode as much as I loved recording it with Tweena. As a special thank you for listening all the way to the end, Tweena is offering a discount code for the Music and Magic Journal just for listeners. If you use the code Music and Magic 2024 when you buy the journal, you will get 20% off your entire order. This code is good through December 31st, 2024. Thank you, Tweena, for offering that for our listeners. That's the end of the show for this week. Next week on the podcast, I'm going to be talking to Clinton Pratt about starting a multi-teacher studio. So I know a lot of you are going to be interested in hearing that. I'm Rachel Ehring, and you've been listening to the Top Music Piano Podcast. I will talk to you soon.
How do you keep up to date with all the latest trends and research into music education? How do you connect with other teachers around the world and make sure your teaching stays fresh and relevant for students of all ages and stages both now and into the future? I created our Top Music Pro membership to be the one-stop shop for music teaching resources, training, support and community, and I'd love for you to come and join us inside. With over 40 comprehensive training courses, hundreds of teaching demonstrations and lesson plans, free monthly sheet music, discounts and all the business and pedagogy support you could ever need, Top Music Pro is the community you've been looking for. If you're ready to level up your learning from the podcast and join thousands of other teachers in our global network, head over to topmusicpro.com today.